Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where the boundaries of time and space are bridged by the power of storytelling. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey through the annals of time as we delve into the captivating history of Jerusalem, a city whose significance has reverberated across centuries, civilizations, and continents. Located at the crossroads of the ancient world, Jerusalem's story is one of intricate complexity, woven from the threads of cultures, empires, and faiths that have vied for control over this sacred landscape. The fertile valley of the Jordan River, with its life-giving waters and rich alluvial soil, beckoned to early farmers and herders around 4,500 BCE. These pioneering communities, such as those at Jericho and Ai, laid the foundations for the urban centers that would eventually rise in the area. The region's strategic position, nestled between the vast expanse of the Arabian Desert to the east and the Mediterranean Sea to the west, made it an irresistible hub for trade and cultural exchange. As we move forward in time, around 2000 BCE, we find the Canaanites establishing their presence in the region, with Jerusalem becoming a key city in their network of settlements. The Canaanites, skilled craftsmen and traders, brought with them a sophisticated culture that would influence the development of subsequent civilizations. Theirs was a world of vibrant city-states, each with its own distinct character, yet interconnected by a web of economic and cultural ties. The arrival of the Israelites in the 12th century BCE marks a pivotal moment in Jerusalem's history. Under the leadership of King David, around 1000 BCE, Jerusalem became the capital of the United Kingdom of Israel, a city chosen for its strategic location and symbolic significance. The construction of the temple, attributed to King Solomon, solidified Jerusalem's status as a sacred center, drawing pilgrims and scholars from across the ancient world. As the centuries unfold, we witness the rise and fall of empires, each leaving an indelible mark on Jerusalem's landscape. The Assyrians, with their formidable military might, threatened the city's existence in the 8th century BCE, while the Babylonians, under Nebuchadnezzar, ultimately breached its walls in 586 BCE, leading to a period of exile and diaspora for the Jewish population. The Persian Empire, which rose to dominance in the 6th century BCE, brought a measure of stability and tolerance to the region, allowing the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This era of relative peace and cultural flourishing saw the emergence of a rich literary and intellectual tradition, as exemplified by the works of the Hebrew prophets and the scribes who would eventually compile the texts that comprise the Hebrew Bible. As the Persian Empire's influence began to wane in the 4th century BCE, Jerusalem found itself at the crossroads of a new era of conquest and cultural exchange. The arrival of Alexander the Great in 332 BCE marked a significant turning point in the city's history, as the Macedonian king's vast empire brought Greek culture, language, and philosophy to the region. The Jewish population, now familiar with the Persian tradition of tolerance, initially welcomed Alexander's rule, and Jerusalem became an important center of Hellenistic learning and culture. The subsequent division of Alexander's empire among his successors led to a period of intense rivalry between the Ptolemaic and Seleucid dynasties, both of which vied for control over Jerusalem. The city's strategic location made it a prized possession, and its inhabitants were often forced to navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries between these competing powers. In 175 BCE, the Seleucid king Antiochus IV Epiphanes, determined to impose Greek culture on the Jewish population, desecrated the temple by erecting a statue of Zeus Olympios, sparking the Maccabean revolt. This pivotal moment in Jerusalem's history saw the rise of the Hasmonean dynasty, which would rule the city for over a century. The rededication of the temple in 164 BCE, led by Judas Maccabeus, marked a significant victory for Jewish independence and cultural identity. As the Hasmoneans consolidated their power, Jerusalem flourished as a center of learning and culture, attracting scholars and intellectuals from across the ancient world. The arrival of the Roman Empire in 63 BCE, under the leadership of Pompey the Great, brought a new era of occupation and transformation to Jerusalem. The city's inhabitants, now accustomed to a measure of autonomy under Hasmonean rule, were forced to adapt to the strictures of Roman governance. The reign of Herod the Great, appointed king by the Romans in 37 BCE, saw a period of significant building projects, including the renovation and expansion of the temple, which would become one of the most magnificent structures in the ancient world. As the 1st century CE dawned, Jerusalem found itself at the center of a maelstrom of religious and cultural ferment. The emergence of Christianity, with its roots in Jewish tradition and its message of universal salvation, would soon spread throughout the Roman Empire, leaving an indelible mark on the city's history. The words of Jesus of Nazareth, as recorded by the Gospel writers, would echo through the streets and marketplaces of Jerusalem, challenging traditional Jewish practices and sparking a new era of theological debate and controversy. As the 1st century CE progressed, Jerusalem continued to be a hub of religious and cultural activity, with the early Christian community growing in influence alongside the established Jewish traditions. The Roman occupation, however, would ultimately prove disastrous for the city, as the Great Revolt of 66-73 CE led to the destruction of the Temple and the devastation of Jerusalem. The Roman legions, under the command of Titus, breached the city walls and razed the Temple to the ground, leaving only the western wall standing, a poignant reminder of the city's former glory. The subsequent centuries saw Jerusalem pass through various phases of occupation and transformation, with the Byzantine Empire, the Arabs, and the Crusaders all leaving their mark on the city. The Byzantines, in particular, made significant contributions to Jerusalem's architectural landscape, constructing numerous churches and monasteries, including the magnificent Church of the Holy Sepulchre. As the centuries passed, Jerusalem became an important center of pilgrimage, with Christians, Jews, and Muslims all flocking to the city to visit its sacred sites. In more recent times, Jerusalem has continued to be a source of contention and conflict, with the Israeli-Palestinian dispute over the city's status remaining unresolved. Despite these challenges, Jerusalem remains a vibrant and dynamic city with a rich cultural heritage and a deep sense of history. As the historian Simon Schama once observed, Jerusalem is the city that refuses to be owned, that insists on being shared, that demands to be loved and hated in equal measure. Today, Jerusalem is remembered as a city of profound spiritual significance, a place where the great monotheistic faiths of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam converge. Its history is a testament to the power of human creativity and perseverance, as well as the destructive forces of conflict and intolerance. The legacy of Jerusalem can be seen in its many landmarks, from the Dome of the Rock to the Western Wall, each one a testament to the city's enduring significance. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.